Hello everyone, welcome to what is the first episode of the Free Thinker podcast. My name is Joey, you can call me that or you can call me Joe, whichever, don't really mind. Today, this is going to be an introduction, and so today I'm joined with Tariq.
Oh, okay, I thought, yeah. Hi, I'm Tariq. They usually call me Tariq the Freak, as well as Heartbreak Reek.
This guy. And I'm with Sam today.
Yo, I'm Sam.
And you're going to say?
That's it.
Alright, cool. Obviously, yeah, so this is just the introductory podcast episode, so we're not going to take too much time off. We're just going to be talking about the motivations behind the type of content and other things that are to come. And just a few things that we think, like, just what we feel about the state of, like, media and, like, just the things that we're feeding into these days. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so obviously the podcast, you could just say, yeah, everybody's got a podcast. Everybody and their girlfriends, their mums, their grandparents, everybody, their neighbours, they've all got podcasts. What's the difference? The difference is, I feel like there's a lot of things that need to come out, but it's not coming out. Like everybody, yeah, it's true. Everybody's got things coming out, and it's more or less the same thing that I'm seeing everywhere. Just little, yeah, like what Sam said, like just different, like little tweaks here and there, but it's more or less the same thing. And it's like it's interesting. I can listen to that stuff, but I don't want to just be listening to that. Sometimes I enjoy like listening to other things, and it's a thing where every time. So what initially made me want to start the podcast? Let me just go back into that. It's all started, I think, about 3 years ago, 2016. So we're in 2019 right now. Yeah, 2016. Back in the day, me and one of my other friends, we used to walk home together from like the gym or the library or wherever. And when we're walking home, there's a point where there's like the road splits. So he turns right to go to his house. I walk forward. And on the corner of this road, I remember there was a day where we just stood in that corner, just having the maddest conversation about everything, life, like literally everything. And then I looked at the time, I was like, bro, like 2 hours have gone by and we've just had the maddest conversation. And I literally said to him, I wish I could save this conversation. Like, I really wish I could save the conversation because I was just enjoying it. It's like, and then eventually that kept happening. Like, I go out, literally just when I'm with my friends, literally like, a lot of people, it's like, they say people don't have substance, whereas I feel like, I'm not trying to brag or anything, but obviously, I feel like the way me and my friends are, it's like, the way we are, the way we think, and we're just so different. Like, we can just talk about things in depth, real things, and go deep into it. And it keeps happening, and it's like, I really just want to keep these conversations because I feel like they actually have meaning, even if it's not for any higher agenda or anything, but I feel like there's just purpose behind it. That's why the podcast is really existing. Like that's the main motivations behind it. Free Thinker podcast. I feel like I named it that simply because, like what Sam said, a lot of the times you go out, you just hear these different pods and these different shows and channels and whatnot. Not trying to throw digs or anything like that. I enjoy it. I think everyone should just keep doing what they're doing. But I feel like a lot of the time people are doing the same things simply because they feel obliged to, because everything outside of that is what is considered just different or weird or nerdy or whatever. Everyone just wants to like keep this image, and like no one really wants to be themselves fully. Like I feel like this is the stuff I like to talk about. It's just what I like to talk about, and it comes naturally. But I feel like a lot of the things that I see, it's just the same stuff. It's like everyone just wants to keep that image. Like no one's really being free with what they want to talk about. Like if someone wants to like go in deep on something, like I'm sure a lot of people when they're at home, they just research random things. They look up random things, like things that they don't really tell their friends about. I'm sure a lot of people like they just like to, I don't know, like they like to look at, I don't know, videos of animals or just random stuff like that.
Landscapes.
Sam loves landscapes. Tarek, what Tarek loves?
In terms of
get out of here. But yeah, like
stuff. I'm into like art. What kind of art, Tarek? Like say if you was to like draw like anime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like me.
That's art. Yeah. That art is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm also into I like dance.
Okay.
Dance is great.
But
Yeah,
we understand, Tarek.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but yeah, just stuff like that. I feel like it feels like I'm even ranting right now, but I'm not trying to rant. I just feel like a lot of things, no one's really trying to be free with themselves, and everyone's just trying to keep themselves in a bubble to uphold an image. So that was why it was called that, and because I wish I could save these conversations. Like obviously, I like to say with the Free Thinker podcast, we are saving the conversations that you wish to keep forever. And that's more or less the motivations behind it. Anyone else got anything to say?
I think the term free thinkers, I usually kind of entitle it freak thinkers.
Okay, Tarek.
In the sense of they call me Tariq the Freak, so that's just me put my own twist on
Okay,
it.
Tarek.
But free thinkers is good because, I mean, it just in this day and age, everyone has social media. You know, everyone has, as even Joe said, everyone's kind of, well, not everyone, but it's popular to kind of have your own podcast.
Not everyone, obviously.
Because obviously everyone's opinionated, and I don't know, like, we're just living a point where it's like, it's really intriguing to listen to people. It's really intriguing to like follow a podcast. There's all different kinds of podcasters, like relationship advice, and then talking about the news that's going on in social media or in real life and stuff.
And yeah, like sorry, with what Tarek's saying, even like it's all good. I like all of those other things, but I feel like the demographic that I'm from, like let's say age bracket 18 to like 25, black in the UK. You don't really have there's only like one, like let's say 1 to 2, 3, like what's the word I'm looking for? Genres or like just topics or things that are going out there. Like there's not much. Even though you could say there's a lot of other things like the stuff that's gonna be on this one, but within our demographic, I would like to see more of like people just being freely within themselves. Like there's a lot of other things. Like I listen to a lot of other podcasts, watch a lot of other things, and that's fine. Like those are what I want to go to for that. But then when I want to go to certain other things, it's like there's no one within this demographic in this country, and I feel like it's just kind of annoying. Like me and you even talking about it, Tarek. How most like it's just a lot of things. It's just the same, and it, like.
Well, yeah, and I it's kind of people's approach in the UK to kind of like resonate with people is what's already been there. Like it don't change. Like the same with music, the same with YouTubers, and it ain't really much of a dig. It's just more sort of like it's just stuck in the same way.
You know what it is? I don't think it's not a dig. I think the word just came into my head. It's think where one thing works for someone, people see that as a formula for instant success.
Yeah.
So everyone's all of a sudden trying to do that same stuff, and no one's really trying to just branch out and just do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like some people, like there's people that you could probably know, but that are like, let's say, doing something. Could be anything, but you know that's not the type of stuff they're actually into. It's like they're just doing that because they feel like that's what everyone likes in this country. Like that's what everyone is on.
Popping.
That's what's popping. So it's like there's too much conforming. No one really just doing what they want to do. I feel like no one's really free themselves. Like people feel obliged and like people feel too pressured to just be doing certain things.
Yeah.
So yeah, free. I don't know. Yeah, but you got what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Because I was just thinking, I was like, when it comes to how people approach YouTube, like everyone like they come with the YouTube channel. This ain't a knock. This is more so kind of like, you know, what are you trying to accomplish? Because they would come with, because obviously we know kind of Nella Rose pioneered that whole sit down for friends in the uni kitchen and talk out. Yeah. And they're not saying other people are copying it, but it's like, okay, and that's something simple.
Amazing, by the way. Like her channel was great.
100%. And people are just saying, okay, that's a simple approach. I've got friends. I'm in a uni room. Let me do that. Whereas like, and then this is why like Americans, they're always kind of ahead of their time because like, you would get like a Lil Nas, and you wouldn't have a Lil Nas before Lil Nas. You wouldn't have someone who's gonna just jump on a country tune. And even looking at him like how he was one of them meme lords on social media, and that's how he used to promote his tune. Like you just don't get unique characters in the UK. If you get them, everyone's gonna kind of trying to use that blueprint.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, okay, if it works for this kid, let me just use the same. Which ain't a problem, but like how you're doing with this podcast is like you want to talk about different stuff. Approach it in a different way.
Like just the stuff that you don't really hear from this demographic elsewhere, like outside.
Yeah, so think freely, do freely. I mean, I mean, look at me. That's why I'm an inspiration to many. Because some people look at me like, you know, you're an inspiration to many.
Okay, first and foremost, if you haven't known already, Tariq is full of shit. Anyway,
Yeah, it's kind of tea.
no, I'm joking. Nah, I agree, but I think like one example, politics.
Yeah.
Like I studied politics in sixth form, and it was a choice, but it was also a case of I needed to do it. So as I'm studying politics, and at the time, not many people were talking about politics, especially in our age. But I feel like now people talk about politics, but it's because they've been forced to. Do you get what I mean? So say for instance the referendum now.
Yeah.
Most people didn't care about politics before, but because they realized that more people are interested from our different. So I think it's a case of people depend so much on influencers in our generation for them to do things instead of them feeling free enough to do you know what? I don't care what so says. I don't care if it's different to what everyone else is doing. I'm gonna go out on my own vibe. You know what I mean? So it's a case of where people are waiting for someone to do something before they have the courage to do it themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, fair enough. If that's how you want to live your life, that's like no one can tell you how to live your life. But we only have one life to live. So how do you want to live it?
How do you think most people are like that?
Comfort.
Word.
Like I remember there was a quote I saw. It was like, "You learn the most outside of your comfort zone," but comfortable is comfortable.
I don't even think it's just comfort. Like basic survival instincts is like even when you're
Stay with the pack.
literally, yeah. Like even when you're in school, you like how are you gonna survive throughout school without friends? Like everybody needs friends, and what do? You find the people who like we all became friends because we have things in common with each other, like, and so that gives you a sense of belonging and whatnot. So I feel like through I don't know associating yourselves with and attaching yourselves to doing what like your influences kind of laid down for you to do, that's what makes you feel apart. But it's like because if you branch out of what everyone else is doing, you'll probably like I feel like a lot of people feel excluded from everything else. They'll feel as if they won't be accepted, and I feel like everyone just wants so much acceptance these days that that's kind of like what you're saying. Like yeah, like literally what you're saying. Everyone just wants so much acceptance these days that they're trying to just do everything for that instead of just doing what they want to do.
But you know another thing, what do you call it? Like one thing, and it motivates some people, but I don't think it motivates enough people. Like, you know, and the thing is, I was one of those people at the time, failure.
Yeah, yeah.
Failure makes people scared.
Definitely.
Because obviously if you fail, not only just people from the outside, but within yourself, it makes you feel like shit.
Yeah,
Definitely.
But you can't learn without failing.
100.
And you can't be your best self without, like, for me, especially in business wise, I've lost so much money because I failed to see something. But, and obviously nobody wants to lose money, but as you've lost that, you learn something.
Facts.
And I'm not saying that you should, like, some people lose their whole lives investing in the wrong places. You have to be smart about it, but you learn from your failures. So,
like with what Sam said, we're all victims of that as well. Like right now, we're recording the first episode, the introductory episode for this podcast, right? Even as recent as this morning, on my way here, I was even thinking to myself, should I just call this whole thing off? Like what's the point? Because throughout all the time, I'm just thinking to myself, you know what? People probably aren't going to listen to this anyway. Like it's probably just going to be nothing and no one's going to care about. But then the only thing that like actually makes me stick to it is that okay. 3 years ago, I look at other people's progress as well. It's not like you're never gonna get instant progress. Everyone should remember that. Like when you see the success, it comes from a lot of hard work behind the scenes. But what always motivates me to keep doing this, and the only reason I'm still doing it, and I feel like it's something that everyone should always remember. It's like just remember why you're doing it. Like my motivations for doing this podcast wasn't initially to get, like I don't know, to become popular, to just be out there, like for everyone to listen in. If that happens, I'll be very grateful, but there's no guarantee for that. Like I said, a lot of people in our demographic don't even look like towards a lot of things outside the usual. So there's no guarantee that this will get out there. And I often be thinking about, if this just doesn't look good and no one really pays attention, I'm just gonna look like an idiot. But then I realize I always have to keep thinking. The reason I'm doing this was like what I said at the beginning. Obviously, I wanted to save those conversations that I wish I could keep because it happens a lot of times, and I feel like I have a lot. And I want to be able to put those conversations out there so that other people who are interested can come in. But yeah, that's more or less it, really. Yeah, that's more or less it, really. We may go on other things, but also just to continue, what else will be coming on this? We have YouTube. Can get us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. On YouTube will be a bit different. We're gonna have visual stuff, animated stuff, just a bunch of different things, and yeah, just everyone should just watch out for it. Really, there's Tariq has his, what do you call it? Tariq's an actor.
Yeah.
You might have already known by a lot of the rubbish he was saying earlier, but he's an actor. So
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say they would know. I wouldn't say it's rubbish.
it kind of was rubbish.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say it's more so just
Be
showing.
free, speak your mind, bro.
Thank you, Sam.
No,
I find it quite almost ironic
yeah.
or hypocritical that I'd be on a podcast called Free Thinkers and I'm freely thinking.
Yeah.
But then it gets dubbed as I can't literally just forgot what you just said. What did you just call it? I guess dubbed as rubbish or bull. I mean, that's just a society we live in today where it's just
Hey, but that's the point of this podcast.
On that note, we are done, guys.
like is that
I'm joking.
How do I say it? How long is it? How can I?
Don't worry about the count. Keep
Yeah,
talking.
he can edit it.
Keep talking.
Okay, still cute too. Yeah, so he just did it. Hypocritical podcast, I guess. Anyway, carrying on with your point you were saying about just putting stuff out there. It reminded me of me. Reminded me of a young me. In terms of just like, I definitely believe in just putting stuff out there because I'm always like creating and writing stuff. Like I literally just be in the crib and I'm like, watch a film or watch a sitcom or series, and I'm literally inspired and I'm writing all kinds of different scripts and like just looking out to like, I don't know, make that twisted in some way. But like putting stuff out, because even when I put out like the Instagram comedy stuff, it never was kind of like put it out and then try and get like Instagram fame. Because with that, I don't even see how you can get Instagram fame with comedy. It's literally just put it out as like a portfolio of stuff I've done. And even that, like that's how, because like Instagram, I can't remember, like 1,000 something hundred followers. So that's like nothing. Well, not nothing. I don't like saying it's nothing because like people actually do like take time out of their day, like DM and comment like actually some nice stuff. But like even with that resulted in freaking, like I told you, like a writer at the BBC hollering at me, and then that connected me to an agent. Like even with an agent, like that's crazy. Like I look at some people's videos and they say, oh, I had to, you know, go to a talent show or meet the agent and invite the agent down to the show that I'm doing and so on and so on and so. And I'm like, all I did was send the bird like a couple of my freaking comedy videos I made in my room, and that actually gave me a look. So that's what it is. So you know what I mean? It's at the same time, it's like when you come out with your own stuff, try and be unique and creative in your own way. But it's like don't even let that fear of, oh, someone might not look at me, oh, I'm just gonna blend in with everyone else, oh, it's not gonna get the traction. You still put it out, you're just making an opportunity for yourself, you know. Put out a YouTube video and then, hey, we like what you do with your videos, we want to sponsor you. You know what I'm saying? You got 5,000 subscribers, you getting in checks, and then you get 10,000 subscribers. You know what I mean, or stuff like that. So
Rome wasn't built in a day.
exactly, it was built in. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, but basically, what Tarek's also saying though, like,
built in.
Hey, yo.
you shouldn't chase the instant shouldn't chase the instant
No,
fame.
you shouldn't at all.
There's always hard work behind everything that goes on. So even if you feel like you're gonna fail, like this is podcast number 1. Like some of the podcasts I listen to, some of the like YouTube channels and stuff I watch, I always go back to see their first videos and see how long ago it was, and like look at the progress that's happened. Like even recently, I've just started like trying to watch the NBA. I look at Stephen A. Smith doing his big commentary. He's got big contracts, but you know how old this guy is, and he's been working towards this since he was like our age. Like, so we're in university right now. He was like, what? He came out of college and he started writing, or was he writing in college?
Basically, how it went was he started recording in his room in college, and how he was doing free shows.
That's like 30 years or something.
Yeah,
that's like 30 years of work.
What do you call it? Free endorsements, basically, and how it took him, was it 10 years of doing what he did until he finally got hired by ESPN.
Simple. So realistically, you may never know you just don't know where things are gonna go to. But if you stick to doing what you want to do and don't just do what you feel like you should be doing to get accepted from others, because that's how you're just gonna get thrown out in the trash. Like no one, eventually you're just gonna fall off because you don't really want to be doing it, and you don't have a reason to stay consistent. But if you stay consistent with what you're doing, then you never know. Like you may not see it, and it may not be soon, but everybody gets there sometimes. Like that's the issue with people our age. This will be a topic for another pod where we talk about how there's a lot of pressure on and people our age. So like we're 20, 21. People our age feel very pressured because we feel like we're running out of time. But that's a topic for another day.
I don't know why I stand with that pressure. It's so weird. Cause like now it's like, cause like even to what you just said about Stephen A. Smith, what Sam said about like, taking L's and stuff. Like I recently just started accepting that like L's is like
it's
just
necessary.
It's just so necessary, so needed. Like there's just no evolving without failing or not. But I'm more so like failing is one thing, you know what I'm saying, but staying stagnant.
Yeah.
That's just like the mentally, just like. Can we swear on this?
Yeah, you can.
Nah, I don't want to swear.
You don't. I mean, obviously keep it to a minimal, but if you want to, you can. Like,
it's the mentally.
Just don't be offensive.
It's the mentally. It's the mentally like obliterating thing, like just staying stagnant. So that's what I was like with Stephen A. Smith taking 10 years. It's kind of it's and correlating that to like us and feeling the pressure now. I'm like, yeah, 10 years is cool.
But 10 years is a long time.
Then again, I have that thought as well.
Long,
so it's hard.
Like, it's hard. You can never see it, but I feel like the success always comes. Like everyone's definition for success is different as well.
Plus, 10 years can breeze by. Like, don't you ever clock that? Like,
gee,
5, 6, 7
we met
years.
each other 10 years ago in year 7.
Just breezes by.
But you know one thing, it's not everybody's fault. It's also the generation's fault. How everyone wants everything instantly, but it's because we have the choice, we have the option of getting things instantly. Like imagine,
literally, yeah.
Like somebody said on Twitter the other day, like, oh, kids will never understand how important breaks were when we were watching shows.
Yeah.
Breaks, you would use that to go to the toilet, get food, blah blah, and you'd rush back before the break starts. I mean, the break's over. But now you have Netflix, you have we get everything so instant now that we
pause, we
like
do
to wait is a problem.
That's crazy.
So true.
Waiting
wait
is
is
an
a
issue
problem.
because the thing is everyone's always seeing other people's success, and then that's what they want. So it's like with music now, everyone sees people blow, and then they just think, okay, I just want to make a banger and we're gonna blow, and that's that.
But you know
The issue is though, you don't see the work that's gone behind it. Like recently, let's say NSG, yeah, they blew with Options. They've now dropped OT Bop. Everyone's saying, yeah, NSG. People know they've been making music for a while, but if you actually look into how long they've been making music for, it's mad because it's been a lot longer than everybody thinks. People just don't see that. People just see the success, but not the work behind it. So they just want to get that instant fame, and when you chase that, it just doesn't. You just end up getting too disappointed. That's the thing. You just have to think to yourself, okay, long-term strategy. The only issue is because that's just the way the world is right now. The world now has taken a turn where everything has to be more or less done in the short term, because otherwise you're gonna get overtaken. But I feel like if people just relax and everyone thinks long term ahead of themselves, then the success will come. The success will come, I feel.
You know, one thing I'd like, and the thing is, it took me a while to get this mentality because obviously I've been doing business my whole life. Like, so it's a case of where obviously you have goals, you have plans. Like I remember everyone's like, there's no way I'm going to settle for a 40k job. I'm getting 100 mil, all that, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. But at the end of the day, yeah, we'll talk about that another day.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
it's one of them ones where, and it's not even just with business and success, it's with life. You have to take every day at a time. Like, and one thing, like, people get so overwhelmed by things that it puts them in a different mental space, how it starts to affect other things. But if you take one thing at a time, don't get me wrong, there's some people that it's hard for them to take one thing because everything's piling up on them. But at the end of the day, like everyone says they can multitask. But if you don't do things one at a time and you put your 100% effort in one thing at a time, then you'll struggle with everything else. And if you try doing everything at once, you're going to tire out.
Yeah.
And then everything will eat you. So
maybe clock when someone said something like that. Someone said, oh no, it's actually Cadet, that's it. It's Cadet, he was saying like when he was going through stress, like he'd have like, I think it would be one big problem. And like he'd go to therapy, and his therapist was like, say, something along the lines of like it would be 10 different small situations, and you have to attack each of them to get rid of one problem. And I'm like, I was about to ask you, man. So like, how do you approach problems? Because I'm like, I'm like, I don't know if I'm the type of person to like, okay, let me sort out this one first, then sort out this one. Because I'm just going to rage and just be like, okay, this all needs to be
You know, one
sorted
thing
now.
I realized, like, because especially with uni, how so much shit accumulates you. But you know, one thing you have to accept that will never change is time.
Yeah.
You have to account for time. So obviously people are like, oh, I gotta get this done, blah blah blah. But like, at the end of the day, and that's one thing, time management is key.
So key.
Like, yeah, for instance, you need stuff done by a certain time. But say for instance, you have 4 assignments due in the next 4 hours. I don't know how you're gonna do that, to be honest with you. But
Exactly. So like painting it like, okay, say you got 3 assignments due in like again in like a day or two.
yeah,
Then maybe you didn't pay the last uni rent because student finance is not busting you. Then I don't know. Then maybe you're going through like, I don't know, beef with a friend or a breakup.
yeah.
So how you sorting all of that? Are you like, okay, let me put my girl or boy is giving me stress. Let me put them to the side and focus on my uni work.
As another
Are
thing,
you trying
you have to prioritize.
In that situation, you prioritize.
Yeah. What comes first, uni or your boys?
No, like say it's like a relationship. Like put yourself into the depth because we all know like when you're
But
dealing with someone.
no, I completely understand.
Yeah, the stress that
In a relationship, at the end of the day, what's more important? Your grades or your
that's
relationship?
true, but that's what I'm saying. Put you in a situation, like literally put you in a situation of like, you can't even focus on your work. Because sometimes it's like, I'm not saying like a person, but you know, like say if you got beef with like even a friend.
Yeah. And that
then
makes
you're
you
tryna-
feel a kind of way.
Yeah, and you can't focus on your work or what you're doing. So say them two things is clashing.
You have to make priorities in this life. You always have to put your priorities first.
But then also, before you do that, maybe you need time to yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe you need time to understand, not even to understand, but to heal. Like, especially in situations like that, we'd be so angry that trying to focus on work, you know, it wouldn't work. So you need something therapeutic to help you.
Yeah.
Everyone's different, isn't it? So
Yeah.
it's okay, but you have to understand there's priorities. And especially the older we get, work is always important. Don't get me wrong, time off is also important, but it's a case of you have to mature. People have to understand as well. They have to be mature as well. And if they don't understand, they're not mature enough. The other things are more important. So
These relationships, huh? No, because I've been trying to decipher if I'm the type of person that's like erratic, trying to sort out stuff, or if I'm like, you know what? Let me just take a breather. Let me just this day focus on one assignment, or am I just gonna just rage and just I gotta do every assignment? So that was just my thought.
hey man, we got plenty of time to talk about this. Plenty
A lot of time. But hope you guys enjoyed the first introductory episode, guys. We'll be coming back with a lot of different topics, maybe things that you probably haven't heard before. Hopefully you can learn a lot of things from what's going to come on here. Make sure to check us out on all the different platforms. The visual stuff as well on YouTube is going to be coming through. Again, thanks for Tariq and Sam for coming for today.
And there'll be different guests too.
Different guests, different people each time, and we'll be having different topics. Trust me, it's going to be very interesting. You'll enjoy it. Hopefully you do. And with that, thank you. And next time.